Hello, everybody. This is Becca with In Your Heart with Becca, and today's Mystery Murder Mukbang Monday. Hello. I'm having a buffalo chicken salad from Subway, and I got my story. I did not write down everything because there was so much, and a lot of it that I didn't put down was very disturbing, and I just didn't want to scar anybody. Okay, so today's story is on Karl Denke, the forgotten cannibal of Germany. Uh, okay, so here is dubbed the unusual case. He was known as the forgotten cannibal, dubbed the unusual case. He was not an alcoholic, nor was he a paraphili- par- paraphili- paraphiliac. Paraphiliac. I don't know how to say that word. Not much is said and told about his childhood, but the teachers did say that as a child. Um, so let me. Okay, so Karl Denk was born on August 10th, 1870, in Germany. There are some words that I cannot pronounce. Um, he, after he was born, 10 years later, he moved to Muensterberg, and when, as a child growing up, like by his teachers, he was considered. They they thought of him as a very dull kid and also mentally retarded. He did not do good in school. He did not do good in school at all. Like his learning abilities just were not there. He didn't get along with teachers. He always caused them problems. But with other people, he just seemed also very shy, quiet, stuck to himself. But when the teachers, I mean, he was always constantly in trouble with the teachers. Um, at the age of 12, he quit school and left his home to work as an apprentice with a gardener. When Karl was 24 years old, his father died, and his brother, because he has a couple siblings, but not much is spoken about his siblings. His brother took over the family farm, but Karl was given some money from the inheritance from his father's will in death. He was given some money, and he then bought some property. You know, bought some property, and he tried his hand at farming after he had bought some land, but was not very successful. He ended up losing everything, going to give it all up. Um, After selling the land, he bought a house in town. However, recession um, forced him to sell his house, his property again. But Karl was left with a little apartment on the first floor and a small shed in the backyard of the house that he was living in, that he was forced to move out to. He didn't want to move out of the house. He didn't want to leave the property. So even though he was not living in that house, there was an apartment that was like connected to the house that he ended up moving into and living in, where there was also a shed, in the back, some woods and a pond, like a pond. And let's see, Dink's first victim. Now we're going to get to his first victim. Was a 25-year-old lady, Emma Sander. She was killed in 1909. Her death was found out 15 years later after Ding's death. Now, when she died, when she got killed, it was not even known until 15 years later after Dink had died. On Sunday, December 21st, 1904, around 1 p.m., a man covered in blood ran into the police station. Visibly terrified, he told officers that Karl Denke tried to kill him with a pickaxe. Now, him being an adult, he also worked not only, worked for an apprentice gardener, but he also helped out in the choir. Was like a what's that word? A beacon in the choir, like church and all that. Now, when they heard the report that he tried to kill this young man, they were in shock. They just couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it because for so many years, everybody he was a very upstanding. They considered him a very upstanding individual. They even gave him the name Father Duncan, or sorry, Dinkin, Father Dinkin. It's in German. I don't know how to say that in German. Now, the man that was accusing him of this, his name was Vincent Oliver. He was a vagabond, while Karl has had a perfect reputation among the people of, of his town of 9,000. Everyone knew each other very well. However, when Vincent Oliver, was looked over by a doctor, the doctor did confirm that he was attacked with a very heavy cutting tool. So because of that, they get off. What the go? I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna start over because no, I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not gonna start over. It's hard having cats. But anyways, sorry. Sorry for that, everybody. Ugh, but anyways, okay. So after the doctor's report, Dink was finally arrested. He was arrested. Now, many were told that they were going to do a search warrant of his house. And that very night, one night after he was told that, when he was in his cell, he hung himself by using a handkerchief. He found his body the next day. But when he was questioned before his death, after his arrest, Karl Dang did admit to attacking Mr. Oliver, but only because he thought that Mr. Oliver was a burglar. He was just trying to defend himself. But a few hours later, Mr. Denkin's body was found hanging in the cell by a handkerchief. So, and when that happened, they were very shocked and very confused as to why he would do that. Like, if he didn't do anything wrong and he was just defending himself, why did he kill himself? It was just a self-defense thing. Why kill yourself? But tell him that we're gonna go search your home. We're gonna get there. They were stupefied as to why Karl Dink had killed himself. So they went to search his house to and investigate. And on December  24th, the police went to investigate, and what they saw there, shocked them to the core. The police found bones and pieces of meat. The later were in a salt solution found in a wooden drum. Altogether, there were 15 pieces with skin and hair, and three medium-sized pots filled with cream sauce was cooked meat, partially covered with skin and human hair was found. The meat was pink and soft. All the pieces of flesh was cut from the buttocks. One pot had only half a portion, which officers and investigators came to the conclusion that Dank must have eaten the other half right before his arrest. In the third pot were found numerous pieces of human skin and parts of the aorta in a gelatinous mass. There was a bowl on the table in his room that was filled with amber colored fat that appeared to be human fat. A biological test was made and showed weak results of it showed positive. It was weak. The test results came back. They were weak. It showed positive of human protein. In the shed were now in his shed in the back of the house shed. In the shed where the human pieces of meat were found was also a barrel full of human bones that were cleaned of tendons, muscles, and etc. And a lot, and then they also found in other places, like in the woods areas, in the forest areas surrounding his house, tons of bones, ligaments, skulls, everything in the shed, in the lake or the pond that he was in, that was there. Found all sorts of body parts and all that, and they could not tell exactly how many people that he had murdered and killed over the years. There was just so much, but they were thinking about 15, and to this day, it was just a mystery of how um, he had gotten away with this for 15 years or more without even being suspected. I mean, people kind of questioned and had a feeling that something with him was going on, but they never. But because of his well-mannered behavior and being very meek and lowly and kind and sweet, just they overlooked any feelings that they had. They just tossed it aside. And this day, there's a lot of things though that have been unanswered that they cannot find an answer for. He died, and they found a lot of missing things. And there's even reports that there was a couple other people that he attacked but got away with. They got away from him, and they never reported it though. They did go around telling people, like, some a couple of the victims did survive. They left. They ran away. They probably did tell their neighbors and friends and family, but they chose not to go to the authorities until recently when, this man, Oliver, Oliver got attacked and he got away and he told the police. Um, and then there was a lot of other things that I mean, it was a lot. There was a lot. Um, but it was so graphic and so graphic that I just couldn't put it down. I don't want to share it, or else my video would be a lot longer. Yeah. Um. Also, because of the way he behaved and the way he acted, they didn't consider him a man or a woman because of the way he lived and acted. Like, he didn't act like a man, like all, but he also didn't act like a woman and dress like a woman. He just So he was different. Um, but they still they didn't know why he had killed himself and how many people, if any at all, he really did eat them or not. They couldn't tell if he had actually really ate any of it himself. He did, and they don't know if he actually ever gave any of the meat and sold any of the meat in his butcher shop, in the butcher shop that he sold meat in. He did give it to immigrants and the people that he killed. He would kill. He he was they were fed human flesh. But the ones that were fed human flesh and then even murdered themselves were immigrants and travelers, things like that, people like that, and never there doesn't actually show any sign that he killed any teenagers. They were all basically adults, male and female. Um, he used cutting tools like knives, pickaxe, saw, uh, other things, and um, his neighbors and people in town did mention that um, before his death that they would see him haul off huge bags of stuff in his truck when he would leave. He would leave. He would be leaving with huge bags of stuff. Like they didn't know what it was, and then when he would come back, he had nothing with him. Um, and they never suspected anything ever at all. And there was body parts. There were breasts with hair that they found in his home, arms and legs. They found a couple legs and arms, a few arms in the back where the shed was, and so many private parts, like the buttocks, like flesh of the buttocks, um, hands, arms, legs, feet, breasts, um, jars, and half-eaten. They found that also he had made some things with human skin, like some stuff that he like some things. I mean, I don't know what all he made with human skin, but he made some things also with human skin and human hair. Um, a lot. And with all that they found, they really couldn't tell exactly how many people he had killed and if he actually fed everyone that he did kill, if he actually fed all of it or any of it to people that bought the meat from the butcher shop. If any of the meat from the butcher shop was actually human flesh. But most likely he did sell human flesh to, the residents at the butcher shop and also privately ate human flesh of the victims that he murdered. Um, his his reason, his everything is unknown. Why he did what he did, and they don't know exactly how long it had been going on. But all they know is that for all the years that it had been going on, they don't know how he could have gone unnoticed, how it gone unnoticed all those years. It's horrible what he did. I only wrote like 4 pages of it. I mean, I could have written a lot more, but like I said, like it was just a lot of very graphic and very disgusting. Um, he didn't end up married. He didn't get married. He didn't have children. He'd never dated. So Who knows what his sexual orientation was? Like, you know, if he was straight or not. Who knows? But yeah, when he was a child, he was considered very weird, odd, mentally retarded. He he did not do good in school. He was constantly in trouble with the teachers. He was very shy. Didn't talk to anybody. Didn't make any friends. And then you know, he tried very hard to have his own farm, but he failed at that. He ended up losing his farm, losing the land, bought a house, lost that, but moved into the apartment next door to it. And it seemed like after that everything went downhill for him. And he knew that they were going to find out that he was a murderer and a killer and a cannibal. And so that's why he killed himself. So that is a very gruesome, disgusting story. Ugh. And again, I would have written a lot more if a lot of it was just not so graphic and vile and horrible. I would have a lot more. I just didn't want to share all that with you. Cannibal of of I don't know what to think about this story. This is horrible. Like I know back then though their resources and everything were not good because like, um limited resources to, find out stuff. I mean, how they did test results for stuff like that were very weak and not, really good because, of the quality of their stuff. That's very disturbing. What do you think? To live close to somebody. I know someone for years and years and years and think you know them. You think you know them, and then come to find out that they're an evil killer. And not just a killer, a cannibal. Killer cannibal. What would you do? I mean, God. I didn't want you to get disgusted, especially me eating this and then discussing it. But I mean, there was a lot. I only like wrote 4 pages of it. The story is going to be a little short. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's the story of Karl Denke, the forgotten cannibal of Muenstenberg, Germany. I don't know how to say those names. I mean, I'm German, but I don't know how to pronounce those names. Words. Anyways, oh my gosh. Yeah. Can you believe it? I mean, that's just scary. To live next to somebody or to even be going to church with somebody for years and years and years, and they be dubbed the Father Dank, Father this or Father that. To only find out that they were a murderer, not just a murderer, a cannibal murderer. I mean, oh my gosh. And it was just shocking, and I'm even shocked at how he got away with it for so many years. Like, like how creepy. No, There are a few sources that tell this story, but differently. Um, One said that he was born on the 10th of August, 1870, and the other one said that he was born on August the 11th, 1870. I didn't know which one it was, so I took the one that said August 10th. And so there was just a lot of different stories telling it, different people telling it in a different way. I wanted to get the most accurate one. So crazy. I'm also not feeling good today. I woke up feeling horrible, feeling sick on my stomach, going to the bathroom a lot. It's horrible. So like while I was writing this and reading it, while I was reading it and writing, it made me sick on my stomach. Like even reading it, most of what he did, what they found, just made me sick to my stomach. Oof, gives me chills. Gives me chills. I mean, so how you guys doing? Next time I'll find one that's not so graphic about all of it. Like if there's just so much graphic, I didn't feel comfortable saying it, like to write it all down. It was just very horrible, horrible. So the next story, Monday for Monday, will be a lot longer. Hopefully a lot less graphic, so I can share it. Because when I edit this and submit it, it's gonna ask if it has any appropriate content or whatever about anything. I I want them to limit my monitor, limit my ads. So you know. So, yeah. Anyways, how are you guys doing? I'm doing well. This is good. I wish they would put a little bit more salad in here because it's supposed to be a salad, but I did ask for extra protein, so that's why. What are you guys eating for lunch? I know this was not as long of a story as my last two, but this one really was really nasty. I mean, they found so much in his house, his bedroom, his backyard, and his shed, in the woods area, and in the pond or the lake that he made. He made it. He made it, and just a lot of body parts and flesh and everything. There appeared to be no like sexual assaults or anything like that on the victims towards the victims. Like he didn't do anything sexually with them, but he ate them and possibly fed them to people that bought meat from the butcher shop he worked at. Ugh, kind of reminds me of today. Um, Police pulled over like huge trucks, food trucks of meat of that were going to be taken to McDonald's and other fast food chains, and the meat tested positive for human DNA. Is that how they're getting rid of us? That's gross. So you can do all the research you want on the story. I do have napkins. Where they are, I do not know. Sorry, I do not know what happened to them. Did I throw them away? I don't think I did. Yes, I did. I had them behind me actually. But I need that. This. I'm gonna save the bag for to use as for my trash can. But anyways, ugh, can you believe it? You see the food good? Do you even want to see the food now? Want a bite? Okay, you're welcome. It is chicken. I can tell. It's chicken. And that's cheese. Man, that was disgusting. I read it was on circles I've never heard of before. Yeah. Ugh. Even though I'm using my computer, my laptop, I did take a picture with my phone of Carl, but it wasn't a very good one. It's him after he's dead in the casket, his dead body in a bag or whatever. It's not a very good one, but it's still clear. It's just he was already dead when they took that picture. That's the only picture they had of him. Was that one after he hung himself. So after I download this video and it's done downloading, what I can do is then edit it and put the picture on it. So that's what I do. So what are your plans for today? Let's see. Why would he do that? Why did he do that? Like, why did he do that to people? What made him want to eat human flesh and do that to people? What's his motive? Like, it never said anything. It never said his motive, why he did it. It never said anything like that. I mean, they found tons of arms, legs, thighs, long pieces of bone in and around his home, the shed, the back in the woods area, and his pond, or his little pond that he had made. I'm wondering why he even made that pond. Like, was it to hide the body parts? What do you think? We don't know. I don't know much about his life, like how his parents treated him. He didn't say how his he talked much about his parents, like even his mom. We just know that his father died when he was like 24, 25 years old. Yeah, I mean, that's not wrong. Oh, no, no. I am just everywhere with these napkins. 24. Yes, 24. That's fine. I just had to look back. I lost a napkin over here, so I don't make a mess anymore. That, like, how could he have gone so long without even anyone suspecting and even going to look at what even say, like, do anything? He never got married. He never had children. He never dated anybody. He stuck to himself, pretty much, but seemed very polite, and everyone called him Father Dink. That's gross. Not very appetizing now, is it? Sometimes, I was thinking at one time that maybe I shouldn't even do this story. It's so graphic and so horrible. I couldn't put it all down. I would have had probably maybe 8 to 10 pages, maybe. But if you do the story, if you look up the story yourself, you'll read what all pieces of body parts they had found. Did with them. Thank you for joining me for Mystery Murder Mukbang Monday. Want another bite? No? Didn't think you would after hearing that story. And, you're looking up the story yourself. Trying to eat my food and not even think about it. Lord Jesus. I'm picturing it. Not like that. And I thought that today's world was really, really bad. It's always been bad. It's just, back in that day, you can get away with it a lot better and a lot easier than you could today. I mean, he stuck to himself. He didn't brag or boast about what he did to other people. So also, he could get away with that if he could get away with all his murders, because he didn't like boast and brag about it. I mean, most people these days, whenever they do something, good or bad, right or wrong, they can't keep their mouth shut. They brag, and that's how they get caught and they get in trouble. Is they talk to other people and they brag, boast about it. Kind of disturbing, isn't it? Ow, my leg, my leg, my leg. Oh, that hurt. Good and all, but there's the salad part. I had hardly any salad. Next time, I can do double protein. It seems like there was just meat in there, not hardly any veggies. That's supposed to be a solid. What I could do is after I make this video, look up the information again, see if I can find a picture again, and then copy and then save that image so I won't have to use one in my phone. That's the only one I found, so that one we'll have to do. I'll just get it off the computer instead. I want to eat this one. Sorry, I'm still thinking about it. Anyways, thank you for watching my video, and sorry if this made you sick on your stomach. I think I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Uh, Anyways, thank you all so much for watching my video. If you stuck around this long and actually watched the whole thing, thank you. Watch the ads, please. That helps me out a lot. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell button. Turn on all your notifications so you don't miss an upload. Yeah, and don't forget to watch the ads because that helps me out a lot. Anyways, alright, I will talk to you all later.